extra health that they really were grasping for, just really hoping to stay alive in these team fights. And I believe that the Sentinel or the Scourge farming like they have been after they have gotten that advantage and forcing team fights like they have been really has put them down and has been very bad. I believe that they are really letting the Sentinel back into this game, as you see them all farming there, but when you see a Weaver up here by himself at top, you gotta gank him. You can't let this happen. You can't let a Weaver sit here and solo farm at top. It's your life on the line. The second that Radiance goes up, this game is over. He's going to be able to go in, he's going to be able to DPS down that Crystal Maiden immediately. I believe he'll be able to take down that Necrolik fairly quickly. The residual damage coming from the Radiance is really going to hurt the Clockwork. Now we see them getting ready to push bottom, and it seems like they will be trading towers. Now if I was the Sentinel, I wouldn't be trading towers at this point, as it looks like the Scourge are thinking about what they're doing, but it appears that they will just end up trading towers. As we see this Night Stalker invisible, however not able to go on this Weaver, as the Clockwork revealed himself when he ran past this tier 1 tower. However, like I was saying earlier, I don't think the Sentinel should be doing this. You have the capabilities right now to win a team fight. If it's you 4 versus them 4, and or you 5 versus them 5, I really believe at this point they're going to win the team fight. Therefore, therefore the Sentinel getting the Scourge. I'm sorry, I keep, intertwining them, and that's completely screwing me up. However, I do believe that the Scourge only got that tower because the Sentinel were not there to defend that time. Earlier I was saying they need to not defend and get levels and get farm. Well, they've already done that, and they've gotten to the point where they can team fight now. So, restricting their farm and restricting their gold advancement in terms of towers, I think would have been a much better choice than deciding just to trade a tower at bottom. However, that's how it goes sometimes. Now, I believe the next item coming up on this Lich will more likely be a Django, as when you get that Bracer, I mean, he got the Bracer for the extra health, but a Django is a very good item just to, turn into. We'll go ahead and do another gold check for this Rady, as we see 2,400 gold. As he is getting ever closer, and the Scourge are continuing to farm, and I'm not really sure what this is about, especially this Visage farming. You need to continue to gank, you need to continue to hold them down. You're not built for the late game. Visage is horrible late game, Clockwork becomes ineffective late game. The later and later it gets for Night Stalker, he gets even more ineffective. Slardar can be very effective late game, however I don't believe they're putting enough farm in his hands. Puck picking up his Blink Dagger, which will be huge in team fights. The Sentinel are really starting to get their main team fight items up, as this Windrunner had the mechanism much earlier, very mainstay, and a very huge item for the team fights, as well as this Blink Dagger. He'll be able to get in, initiate, he'll be able to have great positioning, make up for bad positioning. And then we see this Hood of Defiance coming up on this Dirge, as eventually somebody will be picking up a pipe for both teams, I believe, as a lot of this damage coming out will be nullified, especially from the Scourge. When the Sentinel get up a pipe, pretty much all the nuke damage that the Scourge has is going to be taken away. The nuke damage coming from the Sentinel, though, is all AoE, and it'll just take away some of the damage with a pipe, but it will be extremely helpful. As you see, the Scourge had to give up that tower as they were not able to fight. But even if you're not able to fight, you don't really want to just stand back here and not do anything. You really should have moved somebody out and got some farm for yourself while they were doing this, and or waited for somebody to TP down towards bottom and or mid and gank. When you see this Windrunner down here at bottom, I really think that the Scourge should be engaging 4v5. You know where this Windrunner's at, therefore you know that you have the advantage in a team fight being 4v5. And you know that you need to keep down this Nerubian Weaver. As there we go, as we see the pipe coming up on the Dirge. It's a very good item. The mechanism up on the Necrolik, probably been up for some time. However, will be huge in the team fights in terms of counteracting that minus armor given by the Weaver, as we will see a Roshan attempt coming off. As we see the choice to go Black King Bar before Blink Dagger. This is very understandable as they have a lot of nuke damage on this Slardar, and him being the first one to go in, he really needs to be able to tank, and this will ensure that tankability. We see this Night Stalker going for it. Oh, so we see a team fight coming off, and they are screwed as they are completely bunched up with Roshan. The AoE damage coming from the Tombstone, coming from the ultimate from the Lich, and coming from this Puck ultimate are just entirely way too much. No amount of items or anything are really going to be able to hold you down. However, this Night Stalker is able to stay alive long enough to take out this Puck. Slardar, the Aegis gets used. They continue to move on the Scourge team though, as down goes the Lich, and down the Rattle Trap will now go down to the Windrunner, as the Sentinel come away with the win on that team fight. To me, that was a pretty obvious win. They also got rid of the Aegis, which is a very big thing. However, when you're that scrunched up in Roshan, the AoE-ness of the Sentinel is just going to tear your shit apart. I'm sorry, but I do see a, as I was talking about earlier, I do see an Argh stick going up on this Balinar. Now, I don't really think this is the correct choice. I think he should leave that point booster or point booster. However, nope, there it goes up in the Argh stick. I do believe that he should have went Black King Bar for Argh stick. I think that I think the Black Team Bar would really serve much better in team fights, as he would be immune to all that nuke damage coming out from the Sentinel, and really be able to stay in team fights longer. I really don't think that the map vision and extra abilities that the Aghanims add to your ulti are going to be as beneficial, because of how scrunched up and how together the Sentinel are staying. Really trying to make sure that every time that there's an engagement, that it is a team fight engagement, that they are all together and will be able to take the enemy team down using their great team fight skills. As we see a ward going up here to